Um, oh my God, I'm back. And your favorite niche micro influencer, my one subscriber who totally isn't my friend. Thank you, Anthony. I've had to redo this like intro like two times because the first time I was an idiot, and the other time people were coming downstairs. I just feel like me ranting to a camera. My mom just walks in through there, and she's like, Emma, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, mom. And I basically got MacBook to record. Um, so it's I can't, dude, I pause the recording, and it's like, well, that's your whole recording, and all I can do is drop the video into YouTube, and I don't do any editing, obviously. Uh, so I'm gonna get to the point here. I'm gonna be talking about DC today, the old DCEU with Snyder, and the new stuff with Gunn. I love James Gunn. I said that in my last video. Um, but I'm gonna get to my like first ever thoughts about DC that I can remember. I was like three years old. And I used to live in New Jersey at the time, and I was talking to my friend who I haven't seen in years, and I was like, dude. I said, dude, I was three, but I was like, you know what? I think I think I was a big Batman guy. I love Batman. I was like, you know what? Spider-Man's cooler. And he's like, yeah, yeah, he is. And that was the last time I remember having a DC character be my favorite character ever, superhero ever. Um, and I still think I favor Marvel over DC. That's just because, I've kind of been raised by Marvel over and also because of the time I was growing up in the 2010s, and I'm still growing up. But 2010s, really good, really good time for Marvel, really bad time for DC, and the good stuff like Suicide Squad. I was like not old enough to watch. Um, but I liked Marvel forever, but like lately, I'm liking DC more. I watched Peacemaker a couple months back. Peacemaker is really good. I like the end of season two. I think it gets a lot of shit. I think it was good. Um, Superman. Oh my God, I love Superman. And my last video was a Superman poster, like two over where here was, like back there. Dude, I watched Superman. I go to a summer camp in July because I'm a dork. Um, and dude, the second I got home, I watched Superman. The night of when I got home, I watched Superman after being away for a month. Um, and then I continued to watch it like two separate times after that. I cried each time 'cause I'm a geek. Um, it was really good. Same with, and I just think, Superman was good. Peacemaker was good. Blue Beetle's canon to the DCU. Blue Beetle was really good. No one talks about Blue Beetle. Suicide Squad is partial in canon. My shoulders look weird. I'm sorry. Gonna go. Suicide Squad was like it's partial to canon. It was good. It was good. Supergirl looks good. Then, you'll see we're starting to see some cracks show with DC right now. No, I haven't heard anyone say anything good about the Lanterns trailer. The poopy lantern, you know. They call him like the Brown Lantern, and then they're like into poopiest day, into shittiest night. Um, I haven't heard anything good about 'cause who the fuck wants to be in Yellowstone? Who wants a Yellowstone Green Lantern? I want a space. Um, uh, Paramount. It had that whole thing with Warner Bros. Getting bought out by either Netflix or Paramount, and now let me Google this really quick. But I'm pretty sure it got bought out by Paramount. Was DC bought by Paramount? And everyone. Fuck. Okay, so like, guess who owns DC? Paramount. Oh my God, my favorite company. Paramount. Do I think it's better than Netflix? Yeah, I not Netflix has good shows. I like Netflix, but I don't think they could have handled DC. Uh, they're having a hard time making shows, and Peacemaker is good. Lanterns does not look good. I'm still gonna watch it, but you know. But another thing I've noticed, this is more getting back to the topic of DC in general, people are swapping back. It's not back, it was Marvel for a while, but people are liking DC more now instead of Marvel. Marvel went on a really good run in the 2010s. I mean, they had all four Avengers movies. They had Iron Man 3. I don't know. They had all Captain America. Like they had a great run. Not all Captain America. This Brave New World was good. It got a lot of hate. Um, but like now in the 2020s, I talked about this in my Marvel video, so you can go watch that. 2020s, it's like Marvel hasn't been doing the greatest, and that's not to say they haven't had good stuff. I'm gonna try to keep this brief because I talked about this last video, but they've had good stuff. They've had Loki, they've had Guardians 3, they've had No Way Home, but they've also just had a lot of slop. Secret Invasion. Okay. I was gonna say WandaVision, but that's more of my opinion. I know people like it. I just don't like Wanda. She-Hulk, I've heard people don't like. I haven't watched it. I watched an episode, but that's just because I like Hulk. Uh, and then I think I could have done She-Hulk better. Um, but a lot of it has just been random junk content. Quantum Mania, the Marvels. I want to watch the Marvels. I like Captain Marvel. Um, but it's just like been a lot of stuff that people aren't enjoying. But now, Batman, the Pattinson, it was Pattinson Batman, right? In 2022 Batman. I know people really loved that. Um, yeah, Robert Pattinson. All right. I want to watch that. The does he know image of the Riddler. I love that shit. Um, it's just like people, and then Superman. Everyone loved people like Creature Commandos. That's DC, right? That instead of GI Robot. I know GI Robot's DC, but I don't know if he's from Creature Commandos. Peacemaker, people like, everyone, it's like deep. And then another thing is, I noticed someone else comment on this. You're gonna see superhero costumes every year for Halloween, right? I did Loki this year. I mean, I just look like him. Um, but it's like, you know, usually you're gonna see, you saw a bunch of Spider-Man. You always see Spider-Man, Spider-Women. Look at, I'm such a feminist. Um, And I mean, I saw a couple like I saw Captain America, which is because no one does Captain America anymore. But I saw a couple Marvel costumes. But dude, I saw like 10 fucking Nightwings. There's so many Nightwings. Is that LARPing? Maybe, maybe. Um, but it's just like everyone did. I saw a lot of Superman. Um, it's just like I feel like the public in general is kind of sick of Marvel. Which is also why, them doing Doomsday needs to be important. They have to nail Doomsday. Um, but it's just like DC, everyone's starting to appreciate DC much more. I gotta pull up my notes. I'm kind of just like fucking spitballing here. I have notes on this. Um, but it's just like it's crazy because throughout the 2010s, DC like wasn't great. The tone was so drastically different between movies. Oh my gosh. Especially when you compare Man of Steel to Superman 2025, it's like, dude, Man of Steel, like it was so dark and gritty for a Superman movie. It's like Superman's supposed to be this. You can hear it too if you're sincere. That shit. And then but he was like dark and gritty, and you compare that to 2025 Superman with James Gunn. That was based off of the fuck, I have the comic. I read it. It was good. Um, but that was he was so hopeful and he was so much more grounded too. What was the Superman movie based off of? All Star. Never mind. I don't need to search it. I just know it because I'm the fucking goat. Um, that's why I was also just a lot more like hopeful and colorful. Oh, hello, it's my cat. Um, but now it's like Marvel fatigue, superhero fatigue in general is setting in, especially for Marvel. Everyone's seeing Spider-Man. Dude, everyone loves Spider-Man. But he's like the main thing carrying Marvel right now. I think Thunderbolts was good. It didn't make a lot of money. Same with Brave New World. I liked Brave New World. Um, but it's like Fantastic Four. It made a lot, but also just I think Superman might have outcompeted it, which is crazy because that's like the first movie in their thing. But now it's like everyone's rooting for DC because also it feels a couple reasons. It's like the underdog at people love an underdog story. Um, that's what DC has become. So, and also just Marvel fatigue. Like all I've heard is people complain about the Marvel slop and Marvel just shitty shows and even some shitty movies. And it's like people just want good stuff, like at DC. But it might go back to Marvel. I have high hopes for Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day, especially Spider-Man Brand New Day, because guess who's in that? The Hulk. I love the Hulk. Um, and DC's already kind of just plummeting. I want to make sure my cat didn't fall. They got bought by Paramount. I already said all this. People don't like Lanterns. Clayface kind of feels, I mean, like I'm gonna watch it, but it also just kind of feels like an odd choice. But like, you know, I think it could go both ways, but I still think that DC is gonna make a comeback, and it might be over for Marvel, even with their upcoming reboot after Secret Wars. So, yeah, that's all I have to talk about. I think I'm going to cover just like The Boys next. I've started watching The Boys. I'm going to cover my own thing. Uh, Lucky Comic Studios, the hit comic group. Go search them up on like TikTok or YouTube or something. Guess who writes there? I mean, I know. But I'm going to cover something like that in my next video. So, all right, bye bye.